Hi there, friends. It's Leah with Pinkfresh. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I just the day got away from me a little bit, so I'm gonna just let people find us here on YouTube here for a minute. So, hi Debbie, thanks for joining me today. So I'm excited to hang out with you guys today. We're gonna make a fun rainbow slimline card. I think birthday themed, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Hi, Rebecca and Malvina and Teresa. Thanks for joining me today, and Jackie. All right, you guys are finding us, which is awesome. So happy to have you guys here. I'm gonna go ahead and get it pulled up on my phone too. So when I go ahead and switch around to my desktop, that I will be able to see your comments. Looks like Heather has arrived. Hi, friend. I'm gonna forewarn you right now, Heather. I'm using a lot of ink colors today. Apologize. I'll do my best to make sure that you can keep up, but no worries if you don't get them all. Oh, we have more people, Heidi and PK. I'm not sure, but Jen and Carol and Mindy, Ash and Patricia and Flick3, Rad and Mary. Lots of people. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Hi, Anne from New Zealand. It's a winter there. It's cold winter there and it's hot summer here. Hi, Osaki and Connie and Kathy. All right, thanks for joining me, guys. And Beth. Okay, lost my train of thought there. Let me get this pulled up on my phone real quick and all the volume turned down and everything. Yeah, we're using a lot of inks today. So the ink bundle will be a really good link. Okay, so here we are. Turn that down so we don't have a bunch of echoes. Okay, friends, I am going to put this over here. All right. Hi, Judy and Donna and Melissa. Okay. I don't think that he's joined on yet, but the reason why I am going to do a rainbow birthday slimline card today is because today is our friend Daniel Diaz's birthday, and Daniel loves color. And so I thought that it would be really fun to do a card live today to celebrate our friend Daniel. So if I see him jump on here again in a minute, I will also let him know that we're creating this card to celebrate Daniel. So yes, we're going to have a lot of fun with inks today. It's going to be great. And it's going to probably really Leah enable you to get those inks. So, okay, before I flip my camera around to my desktop and we get going, let's just go ahead and first, if you're new here, let us know. We love to know. We love to welcome people that have never checked out any of our lives or just finding us. So let us know in the comments and we will do our best to welcome and greet you. And then also, we give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. So all you have to do is comment as you're already doing. Leave comments, leave questions. We answer every question we see, but if we miss it, we're not ignoring you. Just ask it again because we probably just didn't happen to see it scroll through. So the other way that you can get an extra entry in to win the $15 gift card code is to hit the share button. So there's a little arrow with the word share next to it underneath the video. Hit that button. You can share it in an email with friends. You can share it on your Facebook page. You can share it in a Facebook group if they allow it. Just definitely verify that they allow it. And then just come back here and let us know in the comments that you did share it. I see a lot of people are chatting about the fact that they are loving their Pinkfresh Studio inks, which we love to hear. And of course, a lot of questions about our ink cubes. And unfortunately, friends, supply chain and with our ink cubes, it's just rough right now. So we do not have an estimated time on when ink cubes will be back in stock. I know that's not what you want to hear, but we are working hard on getting them back in stock. And when they are back in stock, we are going to be getting a huge order. So, okay, friends, I think that is all of the logistical stuff that I have for you. So I think we can go ahead and get this flipped around. I haven't seen my friend Daniel here yet. So Daniel, if you are here and you've already posted, post again so I see you. Okay, guys, let's get my camera flipped around and let's get going for today. All right, let me change a couple of settings, and then I am going to let YouTube on my phone catch up so I can make sure that everything looks okay and good to go. And I think we're almost there. Okay, looks good. All right, friends, so today we are going to be using the Heartfelt Thanks Slimline stamp and a stencil set. I think it's going to be really fun ink blending the flowers in rainbow colors, which I'm super excited about. I think maybe someone else has a birthday that I missed it. So whoever that is, happy birthday to you as well. It looks like Nancy maybe. So happy birthday to you as well. Very exciting. Once Daniel gets here, we're going to have 2 birthday friends on. Okay, so first things first, we are going to actually stamp and heat emboss this guy. And of course, I didn't think about grabbing my embossing products out, so I'm gonna have to grab those really quickly. You always forget something, whether it is an ink or a piece of paper that you need. Like, I always seem to forget something when it comes to lives. Okay, so ooh, Bonnie, that's exciting. I'd be excited to see your Be Strong card. I taught a class this past weekend using the Be Strong stamp set. So it's a really beautiful one and I really love it. Okay, so let's see here. So first things first, the great thing about this, while it's a slimline stamp set, is this one does fit in your standard MISTI. So, and I am not sure, friends, if I want to stamp and heat emboss this in white or gold. So as I'm prepping, let me know in the comments what you think, and maybe that will help me make a decision. First things first, though, I'm just going to go ahead and get it all set up in my MISTI while I think about which color I want to use. Okay, so this is, if I haven't already mentioned, our Heartfelt Thanks Slimline stamp set. It's 4x12 in size. It's got these gorgeous flowers, which have, of course, the coordinating stencils, which we're going to use today. And then a lot of really beautiful sentiments surrounding around thanks, but I'm actually going to use one of them to complement a birthday sentiment. Oh, Bonnie, awesome. Yes, I think I remember you were in class. That's awesome. All right, so go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get the stamp set pulled out. Now, I've used the stamp set a couple of times, so it's fairly easy to pull off of my sheet. But the first time that you use these, you might just want to be a little gentle as you peel it off, or you're going to really curl your acetate underneath. Like, as you can see, mine still curls a little bit, even though I have used this quite a few times at this point. Okay, when I am stamping really, fairly large pieces like this, I actually like to put a large sheet of cardstock in it. And this might, I am technically a pretty frugal person, but I like having the little bit of excess for using, being able to magnet down in my MISTI. And then when I trim it down, of course, I can use the leftover pieces, you know, to cut word dies out, layering pieces, that such, even for making little sentiments. But I like to have the larger piece in here to be able to help hold it down in my MISTI. Okay. Hi, Judith. Thanks for joining. Okay. Oh, Nancy, awesome. Hopefully you will be inspired by my card today to use this stamp set since you have it. Man, alive, my MISTI. I need to give my MISTI window a good wash. I guess that's just how you know it's used and loved. Okay, you know what? I think I agree with you guys, and Donna, you specifically. Let's go ahead and heat emboss this in Daniel's favorite color, gold, so that it will be truly Daniel-fied by being sure that we have some gold on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and prep this cardstock panel. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Really generously with, ooh, that's a little too generous, with my powder tool so that I don't get a bunch of stray gold embossing powder here and there. Hi there, Dee. Glad you joined us today. And I like to stamp it with my embossing, or I like to stamp when I'm embossing a few times just to make sure I'm getting a nice, good impression. I see that the man of the hour has arrived. Hello, Daniel Diaz. We are so happy that you're here. I think you're just joining on, and what I've already mentioned is that today I am creating a card in your honor. So we are making a colorful rainbow birthday slimline card today to celebrate you, friend. Okay. So let's get this guy, the first stamping job done. And just so you know, Daniel, I am going to heat emboss this in gold, all in your honor. So today's card is definitely all about you. I am definitely going to need to stamp again. Is this? Nope, it's good. Okay. All right. I might do this a third time because this is such a large stamp, and I'm going to pull it maybe a little closer to me, so it might be a little bit off screen, just so I can get a little bit better pressure to get a better impression of these beautiful flowers. Let me see how that, oh, that one's so much better. Perfect. I know that you guys probably can't see it right now because it's just embossing ink at this point, but I think we're good to go. I don't think I need to do another, go round. So let me just get some paper. I was truly not prepared for embossing today, even though I knew I was going to do it. Ugh, it's one of those days, I guess. Yay, Daniel, I'm glad you're excited. All right, so let's just go ahead and get that gold embossing powder on one side. You know me, I like to clean up. I don't like having stuff everywhere. And then let's get it on here. And then we're going to get loud for a minute because we are going to heat emboss this. And we all know heat guns are quite loud. It's possible that one didn't stamp as well as I would have liked. Maybe we'll just put the sentiment over that one. Okay. Let's get this all put away real quick. Hi, and welcome to everyone that is just joining us. Happy to have you here today. I am going to go ahead and spritz my stamp down. Oopsies, my little thing is coming off with some stamp cleaner because I did forget to grab a damp cloth, but that's okay. Stamp cleaner is actually technically better for it anyway. And let's get this embossing ink wiped off of our stamp here. How do you spell Daniel? Gold. 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 Very true. Heidi, do you want me to come to New Hampshire and clean up? Oh, Heidi, I don't know if I have the time, but I would love to come hang out with you, but I don't know if I would love to hang out and clean. I barely keep my house clean, even though I prefer things to be clean. Okay, let's just get this. I'm a little off camera, I know. I'm just putting the stamp away for now. Okay, let's go ahead and get this guy heat set, which is going to take a minute, friends, because this is a big image. So bear with me while we heat set this. Okay, that was an epic amount of cold heat embossing. Let me make sure I got everything melted. Okay, I never know if I should talk through those. I know that Zoom kind of turns down noise, but so I needed to concentrate anyway, so it's fine. I'm just gonna try to flatten out the sheet a little bit. And we can get going. And so the great thing about heat embossing is even though I didn't technically stamp this flower up here very well, it still looks really beautiful in the gold heat embossing. And then when we go to add the stencils, the layering stencils, I don't think that we'll even notice that I didn't do like the best job getting it stamped. So I think we are good to go. I do need to make sure, however, that I have the right side up. There we go. I sure do. Okay, so this is where we're going to get into a ton of ink blending. So we're going to be ink blending for quite a while. I think someone is saying they live in the same like town or area that What About Bob was, might have been Heidi, actually, Heidi, in that movie. That is such a hilarious movie. And what a beautiful area to live in as well. Okay, friends, so because we stamped, well, technically heat embossed this image first, when we pull out our layering stencils, we are, of course, they're numbered up in the upper left corner, and then they have notches for a slimline panel. But because we stamped and heat embossed first, we are not going to use those notches because it just does not work out that way. When you stamp or heat emboss them first, you have to line up the stencil to the stamped image, so you can't use the alignment guides. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of stencil, or this is a little bit of tape. This is actually a lot of tape, but that's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and get it nice and lined up with the stamped image. And now my paper is a little warped, so this is a little bit harder to do, but we'll get it there. Truly, this is actually a very whimsical feeling stamp and stencil set. I don't think that they're meant to color in there like exactly perfectly. So in the end, it will totally work out that it will look perfect. Yes, Daniel was spending a bunch of time with his puppy today. He sent me a cute picture of it over Instagram earlier. Sweet little thing. Okay, so here we are. We've got our first stencil put down. So I need to get the embossing stuff out of my way. Okay, so we are going to just ink blend in rainbow order. And so I'm not worried about masking because I don't really care if some of the colors bleed over into the other flowers. I actually think that's going to be quite pretty. So the one thing that we are going to do is I am actually going to skip green in the rainbow, however, because the green is going to come in just the leaves. So we are going to start here with coral reef. I know we use it all the time. This is just technically to be a base layer for the reds. So we're not going to focus on coral reef by any means today. And I'm just going to start ink blending in rainbow order. And I think that this is going to turn out really super fun. And you know, there's no real rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. Actually, I'm going to pull my ink blending brushes a little bit closer so they're just easier to grab when I need them. We are just starting with the lightest shades of all of the colors. So up next is Peach Fuzz. And we're just going to go in rainbow order. It will not likely be exact with where, how much each color gets in terms of like amount of space on the card. We're just going with it. And I think it's going to be super fun when all is said and done. I know, Heather, I'm sorry. I know this is a lot of ink colors and I don't expect you to keep up. Feel free to just link the ink bundle if you want to, because this is definitely going to be a lot of shades of ink. Up next is Lemon Whip. So of course we're just going with all of the lightest shades because we're going to bring in the other shades as we add the layers with the stencil details, as we add the details with the stencil layers. That's the way it makes more sense. Okay. So there's that Lemon Whip. Hi, Marie. Happy to see you here today. Up next is Ocean Breeze. So I don't have blending tools just everywhere. We're going to go ahead and put them away after each time that I use them. And you know what? Blending here with the yellow will make that a little green anyway. Kind of perfect. Heather loves a good challenge. Well, Heather, we'll see how you feel at the end of this. Okay, we've got one final shade in our first set of the rainbow, and it's already looking super fun. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're liking the colors. Up next, we are using Soft Lilac. Oh, it looks like Heidi just watercolored our butterfly stamp in rainbow colors, which is beautiful. I bet turned out gorgeous. Gotta love those butterflies. Everyone loves the butterflies. I think butterflies are a huge trend right now. I'm not using butterflies today, sticking with some flowers. All right, so we have our first layer of the rainbow, and it's a super beautiful pastel-y rainbow. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe my stencil off with a dry cloth. But if you're new to Pinkfresh Studio or our lives, later on when the live is finished and I pack up and put everything away, I will spritz my stencils down with some rubbing alcohol and then wipe them clean with a just a dry cloth again. And that just makes it super easy to get all of the ink off that was left behind, the ink residue. And then they're dry and ready to use the very next time. Okay, so I am actually going to go ahead and get some tape. Actually, this might be easier. I'm going to put some tape on the top and bottom, these smaller chunks. Let's get this guy lined up. So the details are, you know, sometimes probably feel a little bit harder to line up. I have found actually if you line up the smaller flowers with the details, that your bigger flowers tend to fall right in line. Keep in mind, this is whimsical. So there are little pieces that are outside that you're going to start coloring. So definitely keep that in mind, that this is a more whimsical style image. Okay, so we've got our second stencil lined up here. And basically we're going to just start adding details with the next set of colors, or the next shade in all of these colors. So up first, we are going to use passion fruit, which is going to provide the details for the red portion of our rainbow here. It's going to be super pretty, I think. I'm super excited about this card. Probably got a little more than I needed. That's okay. Wipe that down. That one was passion fruit. Someone is asking about paper. I struggle with, can't seem to get the colors to blend together. Heather is very right, Jen. Your paper is a huge deal. Up next, we're using apricot. So a really nice, smooth white cardstock is going to give you the best results when it comes to ink blending. We are big fans of the Hammermill 100-pound smooth white cardstock for that very purpose, because it has provided, it makes our dye inks blend just beautifully. We get great results with it. Plus, it's also really amazing for foiling. But you know, if you can find any really beautifully smooth white cardstock, that is your best bet. And then keep in mind, when you're ink blending with dye inks, one, you want to make sure your ink pads are nice and juicy. If they're drier, or they, you know, you've had them around for a little while, they're not going to, you know, blend as well as, say, like a juicier ink pad. So definitely make sure you're getting enough ink. Your blending brushes make, you know, a difference. There's just lots of different things that are included in having success in ink blending. Okay, up next is sunshine, but definitely the paper is a big factor, probably the biggest factor. And then just making sure that your ink pads are nice and inky, to me, is another important piece. Okay. Y'all, I think that this card is going to be so fun. I'm really actually very excited to see how it turns out. All right, so there is our sunshine layer. Go ahead and put this away. And then up next is aquamarine. And I know it probably seems like I'm flying through, but if I don't, we'll be here all day. Okay, let's go ahead and add our beautiful aquamarine layer. Get a little bit going on that purple flower down there, so there's some color differentiation. Okay, I think we're good with the aquamarine. And then we're to the final color in our second layer of rainbows, which is going to be lavender. Oh, thank you, Vicki. Love to hear that. It'll be an exciting day when you finish up your ink collection with us. What a fun day. We'll have to celebrate with you. All right. So there is the second layer of our fun rainbow themed card here today. Let's get this wiped down. Oh, Donna, that's awesome. So excited to hear that you guys are starting to get full collections of our inks. I know we have a ton of colors and it does take some time to get them all, but you won't regret it, I don't think anyway, of course. They really are beautiful, fun inks to work with. Okay, let's see what this looks like with the second set of details on it. And then we've got one more layer for the flowers. Ooh, it's looking fun, friends. I love it. And then we've got our final detail layer, which is just going to be a little bit darker rainbow layers. So same as before, I feel like if you find the place within your small flowers where these details go, that they get the details into those larger flowers quite easily. Okay. Ash is asking about the best cardstock for foiling. And once again, like, we are big Hammermill lovers here. We have great results with our Hammermill 100-pound smooth white cardstock that we use. Okay, so the final layer on in our start of our rainbow is Candy Apple Red. And this is just going to be very small details. Ooh, I probably got way too much red, but that's okay. Just wipe it up. And these are just going to be the small little added details to really make these cards pop. Okay. Up next, we're using Clementine for the orange. You don't really need a whole lot. Like, the little bit of ink goes a long way. That's why I dab it off on my glass mat so that I can actually dab that piece up and do my best to waste as little of ink as possible. I typically find the Hammermill cardstock on Amazon, and it's got like a gecko on the packaging. Okay, so onto the yellows, and up next is Sweet Mustard. Okay. All right, let's get these beautiful yellow details added in. Okay, a little more in there. Perfect. That is the yellow. Next layer up is in our aquas, and we're gonna keep or ink blend that in Mermaid Cove. Daniel is asking if he gets this card, and Daniel, I'll have to see if the big boss is okay with that, because normally my cards are saved for marketing purposes. So, but if not, maybe I'll just make you another one that's of your very own. I'm sure I can send you one. Okay, a little bit of Mermaid Cove in there. And we are to the final ink blending of our flowers here, and we just have the leaves to go. So up next, the final color is Candy Violet for the purples. And we'll just get these little details ink blended in here. move on to the leaves, and then we can start working on getting this card finished up and assembled. Okay, let's go ahead and wipe it down. This one has a lot of darker toned ink, and I don't want to get ink all over my fingers and run the risk of ruining it. Okay. Emma is asking if she should stencil first and then foil or vice versa. And truthfully, you have to foil first because there wouldn't be any way to line up the foil plate to the ink blending because the foil plate isn't clear. So you definitely need to foil first and then match your layering stencils up to the foiled image. All right, there's our rainbow flowers. How fun are those, friends? I am super excited about how these turn out. Okay, so let's get these leaves ink blended in. Okay, sorry, I was just checking on some comments, friends. Okay, so the leaves are super easy to align to. There's so many of them, and you just line your stencil up to it. Don't forget the stenciling is whimsical in nature, so it's not like a perfect lineup. All right, so for the leaves, we're gonna start out with Fresh Pear, which is one of our lighter greens. Make sure I don't have any ink over here to blend into that. And we're just going to blend them in. Doing a little bit of my, where I ink blend a little darker at the base and lighten it up, but I am not too worried about that. Like trying, I'm attempting it, but the leaves are kind of close together. So it will never fail that a little bit of ink will transfer from another time of ink blending. So I'm not super worried about that. Yeah, sometimes sometimes orders arrive incorrectly on Amazon, but what I've always found is they're always really willing to fix it. So I'm sure they will get you the correct paper sent out. Okay. And I believe Heather is talking about our detail black ink, which is hybrid ink. So it makes it both Copic marker and watercolor friendly. But keep in mind, it does have to dry. All hybrid inks are that way. You have to set it aside to dry, and depending upon the humidity where you live or if you're home, you may need to heat set it first as well. So keep that in mind. If you're feeling like it's smearing, it's because it's not dry yet. Okay, so round one of the leaves is complete. Done in Fresh Pear. All right. We've got one more stencil to do, but it's already looking gorgeous with those green leaves. We just have a layer of detail to do on the leaves, and then we will be into our final reveal for this panel. And I'm super excited to see how it looks with all of the fun details added in. Okay. So you will notice that this has some flower middles in it. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with those because I don't want to put green in the middle of those flowers. So we're just going to take the last tool, and I guess I'm going to have to add it up. And we're just going to grab the last shade we used, and I'm just going to dab it in there. You could also, if you have a smaller ink blending tool, you can use that one as well. I don't feel like reaching over and grabbing that right now, so I'm just going to use the smaller one. And then I'm going to clean it off so that I don't run a whole bunch of I don't accidentally get it into like the green ink when I go do the leaves. But we're just going to get in there. You could also skip this step and just mask them off. But I like to get that last little bit of detail in there, considering we made it available. You would also grab even the darkest shades of our inks, but I'm just going ahead and going with the inks I have on hand and just blending them in very specifically. Okay. I'm not going over the ink colors again. They're all linked when I was doing the initial ink blending. And then finally, we got the purple one down here. And then I will go ahead and grab a couple of pieces of tape, and we will go ahead and mask those off so I don't run the risk of getting green all over them. So we're just going to grab a couple small pieces of Post-it tape, and I'm just going to put it over top of those. So now we can grab our grassy knoll ink and get the leaves finished. Okay. I am probably really behind on comments, so please note that I'm definitely not ignoring you, but I was ink blending, so you can't really pay super close attention to comments. I'm so glad you guys love our ink so much. We do too. We're really very proud of all of the shades that we have and how they turned out and how bright and cheery they are. And the perfect mix of light to dark. So makes it super easy for doing stuff like this and creating really lovely gradients and detailed flowers. Hello, Liz. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Connie. I'm glad you like that idea I had there. All right, not really any rhyme or reason to this, just getting some color into those flowers or into those leaves. These are leaves, not flowers, Leah. All right. Get this wiped down. All right. I realized I never put the tape on there, but I guess that stencil wasn't really necessary. Okay, we are ready for the final reveal of the Start to Daniel's rainbow birthday card. And ta-da! Look at how fun that is, friends. I am super excited with how this turned out. Don't worry about the fact that there's a little bit of ink blending on that edge because this panel is going to get cut out shortly. Oh, hi, DK Sherby. Welcome to your first live with Pinkfresh. We're happy that you're here. And look at how fun that turned out, friends. I just think it's so super fun. Okay, so I'm gonna get my ink blending tools out of the way because I don't need them anymore. I am, however, just gonna leave my inks right where they are and I'll put them away later because there's so many of them out right now. But I am going to get rid of this tape because it's full of ink. Okay. So I am super excited with how this turned out. So we are going to die cut it now. And I thought it would look really fantastic cut with the Ornate banner die, our slim Ornate banner die. So what I'm going to do, first things first, I'm going to kind of check up here. And I am actually, I'm pulling this off screen, but I'm using my window light to guide where I place the die because I want to make sure that I'm losing my train of thought, that I don't cut off too much of the flower. And I guess I probably should have had a piece of tape available here. I don't mind the cleanup so much, Connie. As I've mentioned previously, I'm kind of a big fan of cleaning up my area. Okay, I feel like we need to move this over a little. I know you guys are getting kind of an ugly close-up right now. This just takes a little bit of time to get all set up. Okay, so I feel good about that one. All right, and I'm going to tape it at the front. Make sure this is doing okay here. Okay, and then we're going to tape it. It will trim off a little bit of the image, and that is okay. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, go ahead and run this through that cut machine. Sure. Okay. Please don't do that. Yes, Misty mentioned watch the point at the bottom. So what I didn't realize was I cut my cardstock a little short. So I made sure that the point cut out nice, but you'll notice that it's a little short at the top here, but that's okay because we're going to add a great little frame around this using the Ornate banner die set again. And you'll never know that I accidentally cut it a little short at the top. So all will be good. So with that being said, I have this red cardstock, which I actually should probably trim down in size a little bit. Let me see where it needs to be trimmed at. Okay, let's cut it down to 9 inches. Do that real quick. Okay, so this is some 130-pound red cardstock that I got a while back from like Cut Cardstock or something like that. And here is what we're going to do. We are going to put it on here, but we're going to add the second die to it, which will turn this into a frame. And I just like to make sure I get it nice and even so it cuts a nice even frame. And then I tape those two dies together so they don't shift on me when I run them through my machine. And then I can make any adjustments to it on the cardstock that I want. And then I can run it through one more time. It's a very bright red, and it's a little bit brighter. I'm noticing it's a little bit brighter on the computer screen than it actually is in real life. So when I take photographs of it, and you guys see it on my Instagram handle, it's not as bright as it's looking on the screen right now. It looks like almost neon. Okay, let's run this through. Alrighty. Get about these million pieces of tape off of here that I used to tape this down. Okay, and so now we have this fantastic, very sturdy frame that coordinates with the this piece, and it's going to just frame those flowers beautifully. And I love the red. I like that how bold it is. I think that's super fun. And that is one thing that I do like about 130-pound cardstock. I don't use it for card bases. I also don't use it. I have a version of white that I don't use for ink blending or anything because it's not great for that. But it is great for layering dies. So if you're cutting out word dies and you want to have to stack it, it's really great for that. It's also really great for stuff like this. So if you have them in, and I would only buy 130-pound cardstock in colors that you know you'll use more often. And I thought the red was really beautiful. And as you can see, even though I made a little mistake and trimmed this panel a little too short, you'll never know because I have the extension from the actual frame that I've created. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually start assembling this card a little bit. We are close to running out of time here, but I might go a little bit over because I know I was a tiny bit late. Hopefully I don't go over too much. But first things first, let's get some foam tape on the back of this panel, and I'm gonna do everything I can to not slice into my finger like I did a few weeks back in a virtual class. And get some tape onto this back panel. So I have purchased most of my 130-pound cardstock at a website called Cut Cardstock. I think Simon also carries some, possibly just in white though, but don't quote me on that. I'm not completely sure. So definitely something you could probably just search for. Okay, let's get that foam tape nice and set down. And then I pre-made this 4x9 card base just from coordinating or matching Hammermill white cardstock. I am going to pop it up, Donna. Yes, I am. I attend the School of Laura Basson. So we are going to pop it up. Okay. I know this is a little off screen. Bear with me while I get this lined up so that I know it won't be crooked. Well, at least not too crooked. Anyway. Okay. So there's our beautiful rainbow panel. Come on, Leah, not even the right technique. And then we are also going to pop this guy up. So I'm going to grab my little thin strips of foam tape. And we're going to pop this guy up too. Okay. Let's go ahead and just put these guys on like that. A lot of people ask, I just get these little thin strips on Amazon. Okay. Let's see here. And then in here, I just kind of like to add a couple little pieces as flat as possible through here. Okay. Perfect. So let's get the release paper off of these guys. Okay. It's always the quiet time when you are concentrating on getting. All right, so I've really got to line this up nice and straight. So just bear with me while I work on that. Well, actually, it was so much easier because I use that heavier weight cardstock. And it just adds this nice little layer of dimension, a little bit of shadowing that will, one, look really beautiful in the photograph. But two, it's just perfect for just giving the card a little bit more dimension. Okay, so we are going to stamp this little tiny sentiment here that says you deserve it all. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab my Misty, probably just going to grab my mini Misty here and a scrap of white cardstock because we're just going to trim it down into a nice thin strip of white cardstock. That's too big. Here we go. This will work. And we probably will go over by a few minutes just so everybody knows. Hopefully you can bear with me. Okay, let's go ahead and get this lined up here. I see a little piece of hair that's got to get out of there. Okay, so then I am going to ink this up with some detail black. I'm going to ink it up nice and soft and stamp it a couple times just to give it that, not to accidentally compromise the daintiness of the font. Okay. Glitter gel would be really pretty over the flowers. One thing I've noticed about glitter gel, and maybe it's because I haven't let the ink dry, is that it changes the color of the ink that's underneath it, and I don't always love that. So I'm a little cautious when I use glitter gel or glitter paste on things. Do you have any tips about why that's happening? It's just possible I need to let the ink dry. I'm not sure. But I don't love when it changes the color of my ink. Okay, perfect. That Misty Door needs a little bit of, I don't know, WD-40 or something. It is squeaky. Okay, let's get this guy cleaned off. Oh, thank you, Donna. That's such a nice comment. I appreciate it. And yes, definitely very fitting for Daniel. Definitely inspired by our friend Daniel as well. Now I need to make him one. I need to see if I can send this one to him or just make him another one. That's exactly the same. All right, let's get this stamp put away so I don't lose it because it's a teeny little thing. And then finally, in my little tote that I showed you guys here last week, I have foiled a bunch of sentiments already. And so I want to find one that is for birthdays. So these are all foiled from our Perfect Sentiments hot foil plate in all different colors. And I think I'm going to find one that either says happy birthday or celebrate or yay or something. And I think I like this blue color. I don't need congrats. Okay, we're going to go with one of those three sentiments here. And it looks like Heather's already posted the winner because I'm going a little bit over. So congratulations to Nancy. Just follow the instructions Heather gave you about emailing me. And just a reminder, there is no H on the end of my name. So it's just Leah, which is L-E-A, at pinkfreshstudio.com. Okay. So we've got this. We have our sentiment there, which I need to trim down real quick. So let's go ahead and get that trimmed down as well. Thank you, Beth. Yes, I did get that tote at Michael's. Okay, nice little thin strip there. I'll just trim the other edges down with scissors when I'm ready. Okay, so we've got to decide where I want the sentiment and which sentiment I want to use. I feel like I'm really kind of digging happy birthday. I don't want it to cover too many of the flowers, so I kind of want it to be at an in-between spot. And maybe trying to think of where I want it to go. Oh, it's going to have some bling, Ash. No worries. Okay. I think I like it right up here. Yeah. Okay. So let's grab this foam tape real quick. Go ahead and put a little bit more because of course we're popping this up with foam. Why wouldn't I? And then we will get jewels or crystals put on it. I think I'm going to use crystals today and call it good. And yeah, I'm a little bit over, but thanks for hanging in there with me for those of you that can. But I totally understand if the hour is up and you need to move on with your day. Okay, so I need to get this a little closer to me so I make sure it's not crooked. Nothing worse than a crooked sentiment, right? All right, and up a little further. Happy birthday. Let's go ahead and trim it off here at You Deserve It All. You deserve it all. I'm trying to decide if I want it to, I'm just going to trim it down as well. Do it this way, actually. All right, add a little bit of foam tape on here. Line that up right underneath the happy birthday. And there we have it. Okay, so finally, woo, I am dropping foiled sentiments everywhere. Now finally, I'm gonna put some crystals on here, but I think I'm just gonna do clear because we have done so many colors on here that I am just filling clear for this card. Okay, we're just going to add a couple of them just here and there. Is there any more big ones in there? There we go. Maybe just down here. And just a little bit there. And then finally, I think we're going to do a little trio down here just to make that nice visual triangle. However, I think I'm lacking another large crystal. I may forgo the trio down at the bottom for now until I can possibly find another large crystal in there. So let's just do the ones up at the top surrounding the sentiment for now, and I'll see if I can find one here in a little bit. All right, let's just grab my jewel picker and some liquid glue. Yes, our next release is on Monday, July 26th, so not too far away. I think you guys are gonna love it. It's a great release. Ooh, does not wanna let go. I think it's maybe time to do a little cleaning on my jewel picker there. It's really not wanting to let go of anything. Okay. Oh, wow. And then it really let go. All right. There we have it. About 6 minutes over, but we are done. And here is our rainbow birthday card in honor of our birthday boy, Daniel Diaz. Happy birthday, friend. This rainbow goodness is for you. And I'm going to flip my camera around real quick and say goodbye. All right, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Sorry I went a little bit long, but I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to get it finished. Now, there's no Facebook Live on Thursday. Heather has something else that she has to do for another event. So no Facebook Live on Thursday, but we will have a scrapbooking YouTube Live on Friday with Natalie. All right. That is everything I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me as we made this fun rainbow slimline card. Happy birthday, Daniel. I hope you're having the best day ever. And finally, I will see you. I think I'll see you next week. I think next week will be a normal schedule for me. So congratulations to Nancy on winning the $15 gift card code. Hope you have a lot of fun shopping with it. Okay, friends, that is all I have for you. I